Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Viva-Mundo's webinar. Today you are joined by the wonderful IE University and Andrea here will be taking us through some options of why you should study there and some career advice going forward. Now, a little bit about Viva-Mundo and what we do. We as a company are here to help you onto the next stage of your international studies. So whether that's visa advice, applications, you name it, we have it here at Viva-Mundo. Now today, please do ask any questions. We have questions at the end of the webinar. We have a Q&A box at the bottom of the screen, and that is where you should put all your questions throughout the webinar. Doesn't matter what time, we will be here to answer them at the end. All right, I'm going to turn it over to you, Andrea, and you can take over.
All right, thank you, Steph, for the introduction. I see some people have joined and some other people might be following us from Facebook. My name is Andrea and I'm the representative of IE for Southeast Asia, Australia and New Zealand. So I'll be the one dealing with every question you have regarding IE, the enrollment process, interviews, etc. So the full journey that's gonna bring you to IE. So ideally, today we'll start with a quick presentation on talent and career. So what do we do? What's the next step? What's gonna happen after IE? So not the general info session. I imagine you guys are having tons of them this year, especially because of the COVID and so because of the online sessions. So we try to keep it a bit different. And then I'm gonna give stage to Anastasia here and Coral, which is another alumni who will join after to share a little bit of their experience. You have the chat, as Stav said, just here, and the Q&A section where you can just put your question, and in the end we're gonna go through all of them and answer all the questions. So I'll start now by sharing my screen so that you should be able to see the presentation.
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, okay, great. So talent and careers, this is the team. As you can see, we have a few people dedicated to that. So these are all the people that will help you at IE from year one to everything which is connected to careers, opportunities, CV, our connections, and so on. So you will see Carlos is the director, and then we have 11 more people plus some interns. We have a total of 15 people. There are a full support in this journey to your job. Now, what are they there for? They're there for ensure 95% of employability for last year students, which is a big number. So data have shown that within 3 to 6 years, 95% of our students have a job. Second goal is to increase the percentage of internship in the penultimate year. Why penultimate year? Because this is the moment where you start shaping your own program, and it's when companies start asking for the pool of our talents. Raise the percentage of top recruiters, so make the big companies aware who we are and the students that we have. So the idea is to have as many companies or firms or architecture studios on campus as possible. Improve preparation of students to succeed in recruiting process. So prepare them, interview, CV, workshop, etc., etc. Increase the engagement of students with their own job search. So try to involve them, try to push them to how to make a structured job research, how to understand where they should aim for, and then an efficient process, meaning internal communication, coordination, just make sure that they know when, where, and how. The end goal is increase the number of student placed, so those students who have a job, and the average salary for the students who get out of IE. There's a problem with the, okay, let me try it here. All right. So this is just to give you an idea from the last year. As I said, 95% of job seekers reported that they were working after graduation. 34% of them, so these data, they speak by themselves, there's no need to explain. 34% work outside their country of origin, which is pretty interesting. Also, that's due to the internationality of our campus. 75% of our students come from outside Spain. 25% graduates pursued further education, so they decided to go for a master immediately. That's an interesting number. 8% of graduates launch a startup. IE is very focused on entrepreneurship and startups. And considering that the students, they graduate at 21, 22, max 23, already having ideas and their own startup, it's pretty impressive. And to give an idea on where they go, mainly it's finance, consulting, consumer goods, and tech. We also have, of course, law, architecture, and design. The percentages are lower, not because they don't find a job, but simply because most of our classes are business, for business administration and related programs. We have just a couple of classes dedicated to other programs. So what are the career paths? And we start with the non-business students and non-business courses. First one is law. So we have a law course, which is comparative law. So ideally, you're gonna study international law and comparative methodology. So it's not really law to become the classical lawyer. You can, but the idea is to work for an international company as a consultant or as a lawyer for big companies. What they're gonna do in the Talent and Careers team, they're gonna help you with the fall applications because they're mainly in that period. You're gonna have the possibility to have summer internships, but also year round. So also during the year, you will find opportunities in our own portal. But it's very important, especially in the first years, to try to find summer internship because experience is key once you have to find a full-time job. There's a big focus, again, on penultimate and last year students because this is the moment where they really start to do full-time internship for 6 months that basically replace the course for 6 months. Contact and networking, this is very important. Professors will help you and push you to do networking, especially when it comes to smaller firms. It's much easier to get in once you have the good contacts. So don't be scared to talk, interact, ask questions, especially when we have big forums where there are big or small, in this case, companies and firms that come on campus. And the shadowing program. The shadowing program is some sort of a training that lasts a couple of weeks where you basically go into a law firm and you see how it works, not in a necessarily active way, a bit more passive, but it's an experience. It's a way to start introducing you to the law world, let's call it like this. International relations, it's a bit different because the sector is a bit complex. They have very different requirements, and that means that you need to make a lot of research for what they ask for what they have. And in this case, companies or organizations, they vary a lot between them. You have to consider that it's mainly master focused, the requirement, the recruitment, sorry. So ideally you have to do a master in order to have a full-time job. And it's very important to have volunteering and part-time experiences. It's very well evaluated because in a way it makes you think outside the box. And for those kind of companies, it's very important. Then we also provide some website where you understand how it works, the procedures, what they look for, the skills, etc., etc. We didn't put here also design and architecture. It works in a similar way, plus the fact that you have the fabrication labs for both, in which basically you will start working on your own projects within the program itself, but it works in a very similar way. For the dual degrees, so the dual degrees are the combination of, with BBA, in this case, BBA Business Administration. So you combine business administration with other programs, can either be law, international relations, data analysis. So it's 5 years, and in the end, you're gonna get a dual degree, so a dual diploma. Let's start with finance. Again, a bit different. What is important with finance? Never miss the deadlines. Typically, it's early September. You always have to apply early. So the closer you get to the deadline, the harder it is to get a job. So apply early because there's a rolling admission, let's say, process, just like IE. And it's important here to have experience. So the curriculum itself with good grades, it's not enough. good universities, it's not enough. Experience, experience, experience. We give you the resources. So this is where talent and careers team intervene with test interviews and networking provided by them. It's very important here as well. And the GPA. Sometimes grades are not that relevant. They are maybe for you as a, let's say, as a personal accomplishment, but not necessarily for companies. When it comes to finance, here it's very important. Hedge funds or banks, etc., they check on this. Consulting, another one of the top for our job seekers. It's a different story, meaning you will get interviews at IE. If you study at IE, again, getting an offer, it's another big step. How to prepare? We give you case interviews, we prepare you, we give you all our material. Here, networking doesn't really mean a lot, but you have our resources. You also have the consulting club, which is this club organized by IE students themselves, where they call consultants, entrepreneurs, etc., and they give you tips. And sometimes here, the networking might give you a little push. The GPA indicates here the tier within consulting, meaning which area and which kind of company. Are you more for McKinsey, Boston Consulting, or are you more for Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, and so on? Tech. And here we have someone who can share about this. Here it's very important. It's more of a new trend. It's very important to show the passion for the sector. Internship in startups, and it's IE really helps a lot of that because we have good contact with startups, and it's very highly evaluated by the tech firms. Some sector specific skills can be programming if you are on the data side, but not necessarily. But when it comes to tech, there are some skills that are necessary. There's GitHub, so we'll teach you how to use it. It's like the LinkedIn of the tech side. Getting a referral here is critical, and probably we can say that IE we help with that. Companies like Google, we help you getting a referral. A referral is that there's an alumni who's working there. We get in contact with the alumni get your CV, and is gonna pass it directly to the HR. I take the example of Google because Google receive tons of CVs every day, and you might be the new Steve Jobs, but sometimes they're not even gonna check your CV. But if you get a referral, the possibility for you to at least being screened, it's very high. Networking here again is a must for startups for sure, but also when it comes to bigger companies on tech side, LinkedIn, Google, Facebook, TikTok, etc., etc. Career path on the consumer goods side. So for the business administration students, consumer good, it's I would say easier. We have the so-called graduate programs, which are rotational programs. We have many offers within our portal that you can find. These rotational programs, basically, they give you a 360-degree experience. You might start with marketing, and then you move to sales, to finance, data analysis, human resource. You do a little bit of everything. And there are also some niche offer for internships, but especially in the fashion and luxury world, don't work for money, but consider that the salaries might be low, especially in this area. And then a very overrated one is the industry meaning real estate, energy, transportation, automotive, because it's more associated to engineers. It's not true. There are many opportunities for people who study business. We also have graduate programs. We also have offers on our portal with big companies like Enel or that one, it doesn't come to my mind, the big one in Spain for real estate, but we have many as well, and they don't have to be overrated because there are good opportunities, and then the average salaries are typically above, the salaries are above the average. What is gonna happen at IE, and here we go more concretely into what the talent and careers team does. And then maybe Nas and Coral can tell us if they did it. You're gonna have every year some sort of mandatory webinars or courses which are about career with some question and reports, small reports to complete by April every year. You also have the opportunity to do other content for other degrees and years. It's some sort of a self-analysis to understand where to go and to understand some of the skills that are necessary starting from 2020. And we also have some career paths with different routes, so dedicated to business intelligence, data analysis, and new trends that I would like to call, let's say, sexy for this period of time. Some resources that we give, there's a mentoring platform called Firsthand. We prepare you, so we do mock interviews, sometimes pre-recorded, sometimes on the spot. So you see how it works, if it's with HR, if it's more of a technical interview, for instance, when you go to finance and consulting, where you have to know, I don't know, what a bond is, where you need to know what is a share, how to buy stocks, or to prepare business cases. We provide the alumni network that we have, so we allow you to talk to them. Also, if they are within the business, they might help you with interviews and give you a few tips. And then, of course, some sector specific advice. Again, the laptop is playing me with changing the slide. Also, the virtual talent forum. So every year, actually twice a year, we have around 100 companies or architecture studios or law firms or a big organization that come to our campus for recruitment, for info session, for just networking. That's the example of what we had last year. You can see on 18th of May, there was financial service, fintech, startups, then international development, consulting, and then energy and transport, and so on. This happens every year. Consider that now, of course, when you have a physical presence, it's about the space, how much space you have to host companies. Now that it's online, we can have much more companies, more than 100, can be even 200, because online, of course, it's easier. So it means that you have the opportunities to talk to companies that typically they don't come to our campus, and it's also a good way for them to get to know us and to get to know you guys. And this happens every year. I'm not going to focus too much on this, but this is more or less the full program that we have for talent and career. So outside just the classroom and outside the courses that you're going to have, we start from scratches, teaching you everything. Cover letter, CV, workshop, just general info session. And this thing is going to be more, let's say, intense in the year. So we start with 4 hours, then on a second year, 5 hours, and then 13 hours. Plus, we start helping with the internship research. We give you the material. We help you on making a structured research, on finding the right connections, etc., etc. So IE is very, very focused on career. It's not just about studying and books, but it's what is the next step. That's what IE stands for. Also, once you complete the career development thing, you will have access to the so-called VIP talent career room. That's, let's say, a following step. It's more intense. It's optional, of course, but the idea is here that you're going to have group coaching, advanced seminars, so personal branding, elevator pitch, some skills, LinkedIn, some very good tips for interviews, private interviews, LinkedIn, and advanced workshops. So this is for people who really want to develop their person and to really focus on the job search. So we also offer this. So this is important because I want you to know that from year one, you will have your own career advisor that will help you with everything. Of course, it starts with some just mentoring on year one, but the closer you get to the job search and the more intense the advice and what they're gonna do for you is gonna become. So that's also important. Now, that was the boring part, I would say. So I would like to give the stage to the guests, Anastasia and Coral, and I'll stop sharing my screen now. So maybe just to address you a little bit, I see there are some questions, and then again at the very end we're gonna see all of them. So maybe we start with Nastia, who came here before. Just in general, going back, if you have to tell us at IE what you did, how would you define your experience? What did you like about IE?
Okay, so hello everyone. So my name is Anastasia. I was in IE from 2014 That was a long time ago. Wow. 2014 until 2018, I did the BBA in the Madrid campus. So I moved all the way from Moscow, Russia to Spain. It was actually a very nice experience. I met a lot of friends. There was a lot of adventures, a lot of interesting courses, a lot of a lot of very good quality time spent there. And since this call is about career and the portal and how does the school really prepare you to step out in the real world after you study, I remember definitely there was a lot less resources than what you listed now. So it's very nice to hear that there's now this mentorship thing, and how important it is for the university, and how much more things are available now. It was always important, but now I can see there's a lot more tools to it. And I can tell you, at the beginning, I didn't really know much about how to build a CV, how to write a cover letter. Do you really need a cover letter? Where do you apply? It was something completely new, and I have to say I didn't really care at maybe the first year, second year, and then at the end it was extremely valuable to have this guidance from the careers center, but also every professor was there also for you. We were also all kind of worried and trying to compare our CVs from one student to another. So it was I remember it was a big part of the maybe last 2 years. Definitely. I also had the chance to do an internship throughout my studies, to do a curricular internship towards the end. So definitely don't hesitate to ask me questions about the portal as I remember it back in 2015, 16, and the help in terms of who is supporting you for what, and if you're worried, how to let these worries go.
I was muted, I just realized. Thank you, Nastia. Coral, would you like to add anything on your personal experience at IE? And
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, hi everybody. So my name is Coral. I graduated just a year after Anastasia, and we're actually now in the same country, so we're friends. We met in Singapore, but I never met Anastasia in Madrid. But yeah, so similar to her, I did the BBA program, but I did 2 years in Segovia and then 2 years in Madrid. But I also did 6 months in Singapore on an exchange, and then I also did 6 months in Amsterdam on an internship. So I feel like my journey, even though I was only like 3 years in Madrid, I also got those 2 other experiences through IE. When it comes to like my time at IE, I had the best 4 years of my life. I think what describes IE as university is like a very good balance between work, friends, adventure, cultures. So I think when it comes to like a university that you have to choose, I'm not sure if you guys have already chosen or not, it's the perfect university. It was for me because it was a balance between all of these things, and that was what was important for me. I think if we focus today just more on the career aspect and how LinkedIn sets you up for your future career, I know for me during my 4 years, I made the most out of the tools that I had. So I'll explain to you like what I used back then that kind of got me to where I am now. So the first thing is every summer I think it was like 4 months off or 3.5 months off. So I didn't know what to do. So I always did an internship every summer. And most of the internships that I did, I actually got through IE. So I would check every week. We used to get, I think it was like on a Wednesday, like a weekly newsletter of like all the internships. It's like my favorite email to get for the week. And I would send applications to the internships that I was interested in. But on that email, they would also send you, for example, like conferences that you could go to, like events. So I would also attend all of those, and those definitely helped me also get internships. So there was I definitely would make the most out of like the summer internships. One summer I even went to Venice for like this art gallery business internship, and I got it through IE. So I had a whole summer in Venice, which was amazing. I also would sign up to all the competitions, and I would recommend you doing them. I never thought that I was going to get in. I wasn't like the top of the class, but I just applied, and sometimes it's just applying to these competitions. So once I even got sent to Berlin on a competition. So really, like, IE gives you so much. It's just whether you're going to, you know, read those emails, apply to those conferences and internships. So definitely, like, make the most out of the internships, and that's what's going to help you get the job at the end of the 4 years. Because if you've done an internship, even if it's just a couple weeks, or if you've gone to a conference, if you do that at least one experience every summer, by the end you're going to have already like built up like contacts yourself. You're going to have kind of an understanding. Do you want to go into tech? Do you want to go into finance? So do all those mini experiences, and they're fun too. It allows you to travel and all of that. On top of that, what you can do is, I think the teachers, the professors, like I had some amazing professors when I was at IE University. And if you think about the professors at IE, a lot of them are like working or were working previously, so they also have a lot of contacts, and they're very good advisors. And I think the last thing I would say is, yeah, the career department. So I remember my career advisor, and I'm still in contact with her today, so Victoria. So I would meet up with her, send her emails, she would check my CV all the time. And it was something that I think I applied to IE even with a CV. So I had a miniature CV when I applied to IE. But, you know, every year I would have check-ins with her, and we would work on my CV. She would get me help. She would send me resources. So she was, yeah, another very good mentor, and you'll be assigned one too. So yeah, I guess like all in all, like LinkedIn gives you so many opportunities. It's just up to you whether you want to grab onto them. But yeah, there's so many things that are put in front of you. It's just, yeah, you got to take the opportunities. Over to you, Andrea. I hope that helped.
Great. Thank you, Coral. I see you already anticipated many of my questions. This is good. So you went a bit through everything. I wanted to ask, because that was also my personal experience. So I am a Master in Management graduate from IE, and my personal experience was also that if I needed to build work on the CV, on a cover letters, I worked a lot with my career advisor, and I wanted to know if you had sessions, or if private, or either webinars or something in class to help you build a good CV, or anything regarding careers or opportunity, because for me it was very helpful on a master side. And I wanted to know for you girls, if in your first 4 years you ever had the chance to work on that, and if you find it supportive.
I can go first. I remember, so I think one of the first contacts that I had around CV building and all those, you know, career related things, I think it was a class. Actually, it was a mandatory class we had in order for us to see how do you build a CV, how should it look like, you know, 1 page, 2 pages, how do you do it, you know, the golden rules. And it was not very personal from one person to another. It was just a generic overview, introductory overview. Then the next step, I remember, there was the career center, and Coral just mentioned Victoria. I think I went to the other Victoria, because there's many Victorias in the career center. And the next step, yeah, the next step is, once you have this introductory basics, then you see, okay, how do you tailor it to yourself? And over the years, that's what also is important. How do you modify it, right? How do you tailor it to a specific, you know, purpose? How do you tailor it, you know, is it for maybe graduate studies? Is it for a summer school? Is it for an internship? Is it for a full-time job? So that was very useful for me. That was the second step. And then of course, the moment where you can practice is also kind of interview simulations they would offer in the career center, also in, let's say, in different clubs, you know, for example, the consulting club, they would do a bunch of use cases of how a typical interview would go. And then to put all of that in practice, you had those presential, you know, career fairs where companies would come to IE, and you would have the opportunity to actually practice all of that, hand them your CV physically and say, okay, here I am, and have a little small professional talk. So that's these are the steps I recall very clearly, and I thought all of them were very useful.
Okay, thank you, Nastia. Coral, for you?
Yeah, very similar. a lot of different opportunities to work on your CV. And I think it's just like getting advice from different mentors. So teachers, even like your friends. We used to like sit in rooms and do practice interviews with each other whenever we were going for an interview. We used to sit in the fish tanks and just like interview each other. So I think it's just using all the different like tools and resources around you. But yeah, similar experience to Anastasia.
Okay. So, and since we're talking about jobs and opportunities, we have two practical examples here. You, Coral, work for LinkedIn, and Anastasia for Airbus, right? You want to tell us how you got there? What was the process that brought you there, and how you think that IE name on your CV weighed on this? How much?
Do you want to go first, Anastasia?
Yeah. Okay, so actually, so I would like to first go back to, there was just a plane flying actually, speaking about Airbus. Okay, so sorry for the noise. Basically, so what happened is at the very beginning, just as Coral mentioned, I think I was just trying to, make use of my summertime and just do a bunch of internships. And that's how I started to discard things I don't like, because I came to IE knowing that I want to study in a business school, but I'm not sure at all where do I want to work. And I guess that's probably also the case for some of you. So when I was just doing those internships, I could understand maybe that sector is not for me, maybe that sector is not for me, maybe that country or that city is not for me. So this is how I started to reflect, and this is where I think IE was very useful, because those internships were in this portal we all just mentioning, and I had all the support to go and try, go and succeed, and get there. I remember I was extremely happy when after an internship I could get a job offer, or where the company could offer to wait for me to graduate and work for them. So that was also very, very personally rewarding. And how did IE really help me to get where I am today? So today I'm in Singapore in Airbus, so we're an aircraft manufacturing company. I work in this unsexy sector Andrea was talking about, where you thought it could be only for engineers, but actually I have zero engineering background. And I think today I work with engineers every day, and I can tell you there's a lot of people from different business schools, and it's just as fun to work with engineers, and it's completely possible and super interesting. I actually chose to do a graduate scheme, a graduate program, and I'm actually finalizing it now. It's a 2.5-year program where I had the chance to work in France, go back to Spain, and then come here to Singapore. So I did not find this opportunity through IE. However, I actually worked on all this very, very tough interview process with Victoria. So I guess she was, representing IE in terms of how it helped me. And in terms of university, how did the IE name help me to get here? I think the interview for my current company was extremely tough. It was a 5-day, so it was a 5-step and 2-day assessment center process. And during the assessment center, we had so many group works. You had to basically work in a group of people who are your competitors for that job, and to create something with them. That was extremely challenging, but because in IE, group work is just every day, very, very normal. You just go after class, you work in fish tanks on a project every week. I was actually feeling very confident. It was a very tough recruitment process, but I felt very confident because of what IE gave me in terms of the way we studied, which is a very practical way. So that's for me.
Coral?
Yeah, so for me, IE definitely helped me where I am today, because yeah, if it wasn't for all my small internship experiences, I wouldn't be working at LinkedIn. Even like working in a restaurant when I was younger. So I think every experience that you have from even when you start like doing internships from when you're 16, they'll help you get your job later on. for me, how I ended up here, I leveraged really the alumni network at IE. So basically, I think I saw that on the newsletter that LinkedIn was doing like a webinar, a bit like today, about kind of just informing us about this graduate program. So I was also on a graduate program, but my graduate program was only 6 months. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go listen to this graduate program information session. Back in the day, they also did like virtual webinars, but also sometimes like the companies like Facebook, I remember, came to IE, and you could go like sit in and learn a bit more about their grad program. So attend those kind of information sessions, whether they're online or in person. So that's what I did first. And then I was like, okay, this is definitely want to apply to this grad program. And I spoke to, the careers team, and they told me, look, the best thing for you to do is, if you want to get a referral, contact some people. So I contacted some people that were at IE, now at LinkedIn, and there's a lot of people. And how you can do that is you can just go on LinkedIn, go to the company you want to work, and then see, it'll tell you the connections that have, gone to the same school as you. So that you can do like on an ongoing basis if you have companies you wanna work for. And I just reached out to, his name's Lucas, and he was just in a year above me. I knew him. And we had a conversation on the phone. He told me everything about LinkedIn, and I was like, okay, definitely want to apply. And he helped me through the whole process. And that definitely helped me too. So that's kind of how I ended up at LinkedIn.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Coral. So I will just ask the last question so that then we have time for the question that I see I can manage myself. So very quickly, if there's something that you feel like I really have to tell the possible upcoming students, suggestions or everything, or what they should do if they come, very quickly from both. Nastia, would you like to start?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't
sure.
understand.
Just anything that you feel like the students, if they come at IE, if you look back, they should know from the very beginning, or suggestions that you give them on what to do once they are at IE.
So I think don't expect don't expect a very boring academic experience. Expect a burst of completely different styles from one professor to another, from one week to another. It's going to be a different challenge every day and a different adventure every day. You're not going to be just in your corner with your book. You're going to be, meeting new people, meeting friends, working with them. Sometimes sometimes also spending time maybe after classes, just preparing for an exam with your friends. So definitely it's about people, it's about the community. Expect a great community, and I'm sure you will enjoy that. That's the biggest piece that I offers, the community around it, not only during your stay at IE, but also after. As we said, Coral and I are friends actually in Singapore, and we didn't meet before. We didn't see each other at IE for some reason. And then we just discovered both of us studied there here in Singapore. So I would say that's this is what you should expect from IE, a very, very interesting and diverse, international, and very warm community.
Thank you, Nastia. Coral.
Yeah, I think if I had to give like one tip, would be to just, you have to make it's an experience that you have to shape, and you have to make it how you want. I think if you speak to, different alumni, everyone's experience is different. Everyone did an exchange in a different country. People use like the career opportunities, some didn't, some focus more on, certain like subjects. A lot of people go to university for a different purpose. So I think it's understanding, okay, what do you want to get out of university? Maybe it's just, I really want to get that like amazing job at the end. Maybe it's, I want to make friends from all around the world. Maybe being top of the class is important for you. Maybe being, in the middle is also okay. So I think like understanding like what you want to get out of this degree. And then like throughout those 4 years, like just working on that. What IE gives you though is opportunities for everything. And that's what I go back to when I first said at the beginning, LinkedIn is like the perfect university for like a balance of experiences. So whatever you want to get out of out of the university, you're going to find it. Friends, work, like opportunities. So it's just going for what you want. But all the opportunities are there for you at IE. And I can see that through like all the friends that I've made from IE. We've all gone on different adventures now. But yeah, we were given like amazing opportunities at IE, and we had a good time, which I think is very important.
Great, fantastic. So before give space to the question, I'm just gonna put here in the chat my contact so that if you have further questions, you can reach out directly to me. And in case maybe if Anastasia or Cora feel like the same, otherwise you just get in touch with me. And since we're talking about our pool of alumni, I'll get you in touch with whoever, can be from architecture, can be from design, can be from international relations. So no worries. Stav, I give you the stage to you to manage our questions.
Sure. Well, thank you guys for a really informative webinar. Actually, I think it'll be really, really helpful going forward for a lot of students. I know that my time at university, I think the most important thing is to be proactive, you know, definitely be the one to put yourself forward for a lot of opportunities. Okay, so we have some questions. Let's start off with the beginning. All right, so you've mentioned quite a few internships. However, are there any scholarships available for international students, and does the university offer some kind of financial aid?
Yes, we do. We do have several scholarships. The range goes from typically 20% to 100%, which obviously is harder to get, but we do. Ideally, what we check on is there are some more focused on grades, some more focused on the CV, some other more focused on the financial need. But these are the three aspects that we check on the most once we decide to give out scholarship. But we do have several scholarships, and the full list is available on our website.
Okay, awesome, thanks. Next question. Let's see, where are we? Okay, are the courses online at the moment? Are they blended? Can I travel to the country that I would like to study at? And what are the restrictions at the moment?
All right, good question. So right now we are adopting a methodology which is called liquid learning, which is an hybrid methodology, very flexible. It's both online and offline. Basically, students, if they would like to go on campus, they can go on campus. If they don't, they can be online. And we have flipped classes, and we also have different timings. So we have students, for instance, in the region that are starting from Vietnam or Bali. And of course, they have friendly timing for them. So, and I think that this methodology is going to be adopted as well for the next year. Once the situation will be better and completely safe, then the idea is to go back on campus. So right now we have both methodology and you're allowed to study online from home or from Madrid or Segovia.
Okay, great. I think things are changing all the time, so really that question can change in a year's time. The next question. Okay, accommodation. Now, accommodation helps. Does the university help us here? Can I work alongside my degree, which I think you guys might mention?
Yes, for accommodation, they help. And I think maybe they can share their experience, but there's no need. So we have the student service department. They give you the options, and in case, well, they can get in touch with me, of course, and I can help. But then there's the student service, and we give help with all the housing opportunities that we have. You can work alongside your program, absolutely. From year one, you can find your own internship, summer internship. And then, as I said, from the third year, that's the moment when you can have the full-time internship. And instead of actually attending class, you can do a 6-month full-time internship. Doesn't have to be Madrid, like Coral said she did in Amsterdam. So it can be anywhere. It can be something that you find in our portal. It can be something that you find yourself.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that answer. Now, how you've discussed internships and you've discussed scholarships. I think this is a question more so to the guests of the panel. How can the university prepare us to face real life professional situations? I think you touched on a few questions or answers about this already.
Exactly, we touched, but we can still rehearse on that. The idea is that through mentorship and career advisors and the sessions, we approach real situations. Also, basically, in a banal way, in class, you will see how it works, but we really try to have some real situations where you see what it means to work in a company, or what it means to have a real interview. So not a friendly one, but a real interview. So we prepare you to all the possible different situations.
Okay, awesome. All right, we've got our last few questions. So how does IE deal with students' mental health? Is there any services on campus for that, particularly in a time where things are so uncertain?
Yes, that's a very interesting question. We have the counseling. We have the counseling that are there for this. It can be problems on psychological side, moments where you feel a bit down or something that lasts. We help on this, and also when it comes to exam and classes, we take into account of this. We give more time, we give support, so you never feel lost or alone in that, because we have people who are also there for this, and they can get in touch with me also, and I can provide the contact of the people who work for the counseling department, and they can get in touch with them and see what they concretely do to support people with mental health.
Great, and we are on to our last question. I think this is about the events that you hold for careers. Sorry, one minute. Are the events free, and is there any advice on how to mingle with no experience?
They are free, whether it's offline or online, they are free. Of course, it's a matter of how many people can be hosted, so it's first come, first served. How to mingle? Well, this is about how proactive you are. Most of the times the speakers and the special guests, they stay there and they can chat with our students. Some other times they just leave an email or a contact, and then you just have to get in contact with them. But if you show the interest, there's always a possibility, because the speakers, they stay there, and there's always a way to make a network.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for the answer of the questions. I don't know if you, Anastasia or Coral, have anything else to add at the end. No? Okay.
I think we covered more or less everything. They have here our contact details. Please use mine as a main one. But for anything, we are available. And thank you for the participant. Thank you especially to Anastasia and Coral, who took time relatively late at night after work to just help me and join this session. And thank you, staff, for organizing this.
No problem at all. And as Andrea said, thank you for attending. Thank you guys for a brilliant webinar. And feel free to reach out anytime in the year. We are here. We're here to answer all your questions. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you. All right. So have a good evening wherever you are in the world.
You too.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for having us. Bye-bye.
Bye.